Hello guys, in this video I would like to summarize what we have said so far about Schelling and Hegel because I thought some of you might be a little bit lost, about all these concepts, and especially, if you're just like an undergrad student, this stuff might be hard and confusing. So let us just make a cute little word file and summarize what we've said so far. Once again, for Schelling, there is, we can say, dark force which exists at the basis of everything. Dark force, and it's unknowable. And for Hegel, it's not a dark force, it's rational force. And it is knowable. So, these four things, Schelling, dark force, Schelling unknowable, Hegel rational force, this pretty much summarizes everything, about, the approach that they took. And also, as a consequence, because it's unknowable, Hegel went to the irrational, you can say mysticism. And Hegel went down the path of rational science. All right. Of course, a lot of people will argue, and sure you can argue about this because both Schelling and Hegel had incredibly complicated systems of philosophy, but this essentially summarizes their main differences. And when Schelling read the Phenomenology, he saw this in it, which contradicted his philosophy, his method, and they just split. They could not be friends any longer. So Hegel said, the real is the rational and the rational is the real. A lot of people don't understand what this concept means. They think that, whatever nonsense, abstract nonsense you can come up with, if it makes sense, it exists. Well, no, that's not what he said. That's not what he meant. What he meant is that things that exist have rational explanation. Like they have logic behind them, they have a science behind them. Even things that are terrible, such as, for instance, cruel dictatorships. Like Hegel would say, these horrible things like Pol Pot. Well, he did have a cause. There was a way to understand how he got to be the way he was. And Schelling thought that that's not the case. There's just this blind force, and you just science cannot give you all the answers. And Hegel thought that yes, science can give you all the answers. Well, not science, the empirical science, but the philosophical science which he worked out in his Phenomenology and Science of Logic.